So today I'm going to read a story about a character that everybody knows about. He is super loved by us, and his name is Pete the Cat. So I picked out a Pete the Cat book that I'm going to read, and at the end, I have a surprise to share with you. But let's get started with the book. Today we're going to read Pete the Cat Goes Camping. And Pete the Cat is written by James Dean. So let's find out about his camping adventure. Look, he's got some hiking boots on, and it looks like a sleeping bag, and he's all ready. Pete is excited to go camping. This is his first time. Don't forget your sleeping bag, says Dad. Or your hiking boots, says Mom. The campsite is deep in the woods. Mom and Dad set up the tent. So that's where they're going to sleep. Pete and Bob help collect sticks so they can make a fire. Pete and Bob go for a hike. Bob shows Pete the footprints of different animals. So look, there's some footprints or tracks that they're finding. Do you think we'll see anything cool? Asks Pete. Maybe, says Bob. What would be cool to see when camping? Pete and his dad go fishing. Ooh, fun. They must be very quiet and very still to catch the fish. They don't want to scare them off. Fishing takes a long time. They finally catch some fish. Look, he has a fish on the end of his fishing pole. Look what they're going to do now with it. Mom builds a fire. She cooks the fish for dinner. It tastes yummy. Next, Pete toasts marshmallows. Ooh. Pete makes a s'more with chocolate and graham crackers. So he's going to make a s'more sandwich. It starts to get dark out. Bob tells Pete a story about a scary, hairy giant. The giant lives in the woods. His name is Bigfoot. Have you ever heard about a Bigfoot? Do you think Bigfoot lives here? Asks Pete. So he's wondering if Bigfoot lives in those woods. No one has ever seen Bigfoot, says Bob. Don't let Bob scare you, says Dad. Bigfoot is not real, Mom says. Pete sighs with relief. He's starting to get a little scared. But if he is real, I bet he's friendly, says Dad. And likes s'mores too. That's not scary, thinks Pete. Maybe he wants a s'more. Pete leaves one for his hairy friend. So this is what a s'more looks like, with chocolate and marshmallows and graham cracker. And just in case Bigfoot is real, he's going to leave him one and see if that's what he would like. Soon it's time for bed. Lights out, boys, says Dad. Bob and Pete share a tent. Pete gets into his sleeping bag. It is cozy, but he cannot sleep. So here we can see Bob sleeping, but Pete is wide awake. The woods seem extra dark. All of the sounds seem extra loud at night. Pete hears a weird swooshing sound. What is that? He asks Bob. That's just the wind, says Bob. He's starting to hear noises and it's making him scared. Pete hears an odd chirping noise. What is that? He asks out loud. Those are just crickets. So bugs make noise. Pete hears a strange hooting sound. What is that? He wonders. What hoots? That's just an owl. Pete thinks of his friend Owl. So he has a friend that's an owl too. And he hears an owl in the night. Pete hears a loud snapping sound. Crack! What is that? He wonders. but Bob is already fast asleep. Pete listens carefully. Crack! Is it Bigfoot? Pete peeks outside, so he's looking. Is it too dark to see anything? When Pete wakes up, he checks the spot where he left the s'more for Bigfoot. Look, the s'more is gone. The s'more is gone. There's something there instead. There is a note. It says, "Thanks for the treat, XOXO," which means hugs and kisses. Pete shows his family. "Wow, I knew Bigfoot was real," says Bob. So Bigfoot came and ate the s'more, and he left Pete a note. Pete knows Bigfoot is not scary. Just because he looks different does not mean he is scary. He even likes s'mores too. What a fun book that was. Have you ever gone camping before? I cannot wait for the weather to turn nice so I can go camping. So I found that you can write a letter to Pete the cat, and he tries to answer all of his friends in a letter back. So I went ahead and wrote a letter from us as a class. So I drew Pete the cat with a pencil, so maybe he'll take that as he has to write a note back. And I wrote up at the top, Pete the cat. Inside my card, I wrote a heart, and I wrote, "Please write back," because I really want him to write us back. And then I wrote him something. I said, "Dear Pete the cat, we love you and your stories. We really like the book, I Love My White Shoes," because we really do like that story, don't we? Sometimes we even sing it. "You are funny. Stay groovy." And I wrote that because he's always saying groovy in his books. And then I wrote, "Love, Miss Katie and her Webster Promise Head Start friends." So that way he knows who we are and that we are writing him a letter because we love him and we love his stories. So I made my card, and I have an envelope which I put his name on it, Pete the cat. And I put his address, the address that I found. And he lives in Savannah, Georgia, which is really far away. It's in the United States, but it's a different state, not in Maine. So I put his address so the mailman can make sure that it goes to his place. And in case my letter ever was to get lost, I put my name and my address at the top so the letter could come back if it got lost in the mail. So I'm going to put my letter or card inside the envelope, and I'm going to lick it and seal the bottom. And I'm going to seal it shut so I know it's safe. And the only thing I need left to do is I need to put a stamp on my letter. So I know that it is ready and good to go, and I will put this in the mailbox, and fingers crossed we get a letter back from Pete the cat. If you would like to write your own letter to Pete the cat, send me a message, or you can text me, and I will give you the address. That way you have it too. All right? Write a letter to Pete the cat too, so maybe you'll get a response. He loves to hear from his friends. Bye, guys.